Testing. 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 1, 2, 3. Testing. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Hello, everybody. And today is a very important day. It is Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. And to celebrate, I am going to talk. And by talk, I mean gush about my favorite ships and why I love them so much. Also, these aren't like every ship I've ever had, because I have been shipping from even before I even realized what the word shipping meant. But this, I'm actually gonna turn up the music. Let me get know if you want music or not. But yeah, as I was saying, this isn't like every ship I've ever had. These are just like the ones that are big to me at the moment. Have had like a big impact on me. And please let me know what any of your favorite ships are. So without further ado, let's get into the first ship, which is Dan and Bruno from Bakugan, my first ever big ship. Okay, so the reason why I like them is because I just thought their bantering was adorable. I guess they were like in the rivals to lovers. I wouldn't say rivals to lovers, because they weren't really rivals. So I guess they really were. They were just bicker a lot, and that was adorable. I mean the first season of I should probably warn now that this may not be the best stream, because I'm not always the best with just talking willy-nilly, but it's a talking stream, so I apologize for my awkwardness. Anyway, what did I want to say? Gosh, should I have written this down? Like, should I have written an essay about this instead of just going off the top of my head? Oh well. Anyway, the very first season even ended with them going on a date, and it paralleled like the first scene ever. That's awesome! I loved that so much as a kid. Oh, so Runo was like my first big waifu. Like the other day I was at the store and they saw that they brought up to like Bakugan Funko Pops from the OG series, so there's a Runo one and I want to get it. So yeah. I'm trying to think of like any other big thing I can talk about as to why I ship them. So I apologize, I am probably going to be a blubbering mess throughout all this. As you kind of realize, I'm not the best for just speaking off the top of my head. I'm not the best for just speaking even scripted. I'm just not the best when it comes to speaking. Like, maybe I should, in the future, like a follow-up to a more scripted version of this some way. Yeah, maybe someday I'll do like a scripted video on my top 10 ships, but for now, you're gonna have to just deal with this. Anyway, so the next ship is Ash and May, my Pokemon ship. So the reason, for starters, I know this is probably just made a lot of people angry, because Pokemon has so many people Ash is shipped with, but I ship him with May, and the reasons are that almost all of my favorite Pokemon movies have May in them. I never really watched the show that much. I watched the movies, and my favorite ones are the ones with May in, with my top favorite one being Temple of the Sea. Pokemon Ranger and Temple of the Sea specifically, and that one May's a focused character, and there were like some great moments between her and Ash in that, so that's the reason why I love it. And like May is my Pokemon wife, okay? I like her. So yeah, I do apologize if I've ticked any people out. And I'm just gonna get this out of the way, because somebody's gonna bring it up, I would think, if they see this. But yes, I know Serena did kiss Ash in the show, so yes, if we're counting on which Pokemon female character is the closest thing to being actually canon with Ash, it would be Sarita. I would acknowledge that. But I never really watched anything with Sarita. I watched things with Mayan. And come on, since when has whether or not the couple has been canon or not stopped shippers? Certainly not me. Right then, anything else I want to say about May? Little side bit I didn't put in the PowerPoint, but there's that competition ribbon that they split in half. I never really watched this. I don't know the exact details of how that happened. I think they were in a competition together and then they split the ribbon. Anyway, blah blah. Blah blah blah. you may need to let me know any more details about that. But yeah, that you may. Okay, next one. Jay and Nia from Ninjago. This is something I've actually gotten back into recently. So let's talk about why I like them. First, they are like one of the few couples like ever in TV shows to like actually just be together throughout the entire of the show. Yes, they had that whole breakup thing with the love triangle incident. But once that got resolved, they got together and it was cute. uh, yeah, once that was resolved, they got together and they've stuck together since then. Oh, I should have mentioned the whole yin yang thing, that like they're each other's yin and yang. Now, I'm really terrible. Like I was just talking. Yeah, they're each other's yin and yang. Why did I blank? The lighting and water motif. That is adorable. Like lighting and water goes together. That's perfect. Another thing, it was like a whole season focused on their relationship. Skybound like just focused on the relationship. And it was him having to stop some evil genie from trying to forcibly marry her. Who doesn't love a good trying to stop some evil guy from forcibly marrying your love is just blood? That's great. Oh, another thing, she named that dance move after them in the TV show. That is adorable, and I love it. The scene of them dancing together in general in Prime Empire, there was like basically an entire episode, and like most of the episode was just dedicated to them in a dance competition together. That's adorable. Another thing I want to add is like how Jay will just like casually say I love you. Like yet I love you, but it was just casual, and I just find it sweet. Other thing I want to add is that I just finished Master of the Mountain today, so I'm going to start with Seabound soon, and if you're a Jay shipper like me, then that ending will break you. Like I'm sure it's going to break me. So yeah, love Jaya. I can't believe it took one of the best ships I've ever seen. It was from a Lego show. And it took a Lego show to get a ship where you can just see the characters just be a couple without either having to wait so long for them to get together, or them constant getting together, but then constant ridiculous drama keeps tearing them apart. No, we just get to see them together, and it's adorable. Okay, moving on. My Genshin ship, and once again, this is probably going to make a lot of people angry because of how many different ships are on a Genshin, but too bad, this is my Genshin. This is my only Genshin ship. It's only my first Genshin ship, but I figured I would just focus on one, and I thought the one that I'm also shipping with a playable character. Maybe next year I'll do an entire stream dedicated to Genshin ships, because I have a lot. I'm not even done with the stories, nor not even done getting through the Archon quest. I haven't even finished with all the side stories and stuff, so I'm sure there's bound to be even more ships added, so I can make a whole video just on Genshin ships. Let me know if you want that. Anyway, do I like Child and Lumine? Enemies to lovers, obviously. Who doesn't love some good enemies to lovers? I'll say, I want to point out that this is the healthiest out of the people you can ship Lumine with? Definitely not. There's definitely some more healthier ships with Lumine. But this is one of the cases where the potential controversial things about it make the ship interesting. Anyway, they're enemies to lovers, obviously. What they like of them. I think that's the enemies. I don't technically count as enemies to lovers, but that's the thing. He doesn't see her as an enemy. He sees her as a friend, a confidant. Never mind that. He sees her as a friend, a comrade. That's all, because of her fighting skills. So I think that's nice. He wrote in his story quest, I haven't played through, but I have heard what happens in it. He wrote to his family in such positive light about her that his little brother recognized and trusted her when they first met immediately. And he even invited her to come visit him and his family when she gets to Shasnaya. And speaking of which, another thing why plot-wise this is also interesting, Shasnaya will most likely be the last nation we visit in the game, based on what I know. And I would assume then Child is going to be a big character. So Child is going to be a big character, and what's going to be most likely the last nation. I have no idea if what happens in Shania, Shania, Shania will be endgame. I know it'll be endgame, but it'll be like the last thing before we reach big endgame, I would assume. Anyway, one more thing. They actually did go on a date in the anthology manga, which isn't canon, but it's an official manga. So they did go on a date in official Genshin Impact material. So like officially they are canon to some extent. Yes, I know it was just one date with no hints that they actually liked each other, but it seemed like it. She said she didn't mind the date. Yeah, that was obviously shipping fuel. Anyway, that's my Genshin Impact ship. Next, my Project Sakai ship. Not my only Project Sakai ship, but I figured I'd go with this one because it is so rare. Like literally, I have seen rare pairs, but this is like one of the rarest of rare pairs I have ever seen. Like I think I saw literally a couple of pieces of art on Instagram about them, and like I don't know how I found it, because like when you search up like Ichika X Tsukasa on Instagram, you get nothing. I did it on Instagram. I did it on Twitter. I did it on Pinterest. Nothing came up. Like it came up together, but like in group performances. No shipping material. Like and also I heard a fan fiction about them, and when I looked at the tag on IO3, nothing. Like am I the only one who ships this? Like am I the only one who has thought about this? Okay, in hindsight, how is shipping to be? It is a rare pair, so I will tell you how I even started shipping it. It was before I started even playing the game. This one I was like, but I was going to. I had never heard about the game, and okay, so let me explain the origins of how I started playing Project Sakai. For starters, I am an EN player. I play the global version, so I can't remember exactly when I found out about Project Sakai specifically, but obviously it's a Vocaloid game, so being a Vocaloid fan, what I figured out somewhere. Either I heard somebody talking about it, or I think maybe I saw a music video for it. I can't remember exactly. It was like the first thing I ever saw about it. So yeah, I heard about Project Kai, and so of course, and I said, and like I know you don't have to live in Japan to play Japanese version, but I didn't want to bother with that, so I thought, if we get the global version, maybe I'll give it a shot. And for context, other context, I have played Bang Dream, but like I downloaded it, played all the Vocaloid songs that were in it. Sadly realized it was already the Japanese version and deleted it. So I guess you could say I played Bang Dream, but literally just for like a hot second. So I guess I would, but this I heard actually had the Vocaloids as characters, not just characters singing Vocaloid songs. So if it gets an English version, I'll play it. But then I heard it's getting an English version, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play this. So I started researching the characters and their relationships between each other. And I don't remember exactly how the brain worm came to me, but I just remember thinking. But at one point I must have been like, hey, Ichika and Tsukasa would be good together. The thing is, it wasn't really Ichika and Tsukasa themselves. It was more like the whole falling in love with my older brother trope. I thought the idea of one of Saki's friends actually having feelings for Tsukasa would be interesting. And so, like, this ship could work with Shiho and Tsukasa, and Honori and Tsukasa. And, like, I have seen some Honori and Tsukasa stuff. So, it's not like the idea of somebody having feelings for, like, one of Saki's friends having feelings for Tsukasa hasn't come up before, just not Ichikasa has come up. So, yeah, that's how it started as a brainworm. Like, if I had started coming up with ships when I started playing the game, I probably would have shipped Tsukasa and Emu instead, but this is something that came to me before I even started playing the game, and I can't let it go. Like, it's so weird that nobody else ships them, cause yeah, it's a rare pair, and it's not like there's much material in the game itself, but when you think about it, it actually works quite well. Again, well, falling in love with my friend's older brother cliche. That's an interesting. Who doesn't like that? But also, I think why Ichika and Tsukasa work well specifically, and not just like Tsukasa and any of Saki's friends, they're both group leaders. So like you get to see them perform together at like the big anniversary song. So that has basically have interactions like that. Why for the life of me is there like no one else that ships this? Like seriously, nobody else, or at least nobody has really posted any content about it. So please, if you see this and you want to know, and you know of any other Ichikans Akasa fan content, let me know. Goodness, I have heard memes of people talking about how they can barely find anything for their rare prayer, but this is bad. And like, see, this is like one of the times where I'm so sad I don't have artistic skill. I would have just drawn my own fan art. But I don't. Because the things that I've written fan fiction about them. That's it. So if you have any fan content for them, let me know. Alright then. We're getting to the last ship on this list already. And I saved it the best for last. My true OTP. And the reason why this is my big OTP, well, a little thing, but you should know about me, so there are two things I value for when it comes to story writing. I value the characters and how they grow, and I value the relationships between the characters and how that grows. That's why I like slice of life so much. If you don't know, like my favorite genre of anime is slice of life, because yeah, the plots themselves are basic and everyday stuff, but because we like the characters so much, we like the characters so much, but we want to see them learn and grow even in simple ways. Same with relationships. We like the relationships so much that we want to see them even if it's in simple, basic scenarios. So this ship, and the reason why it's my OTP, and why I love them so much, maybe something else I should say before is that I think about romances and media that sometimes they're great, but they don't, like, best case scenario, they kind of just deal with the character arc. Worst case scenario is when the relationship actually gets in the way of the character arc. There are tons of couples that I like or I really love, but the relationship really wasn't needed for the overall character development or the overall story. But this next couple, and the reason why I love them so much and why they were like my one true OTP is because their character development is linked to their relationship, which also is in turn linked to the overall themes and messages of the show herein. And that's why I love them so much. And you're about to hear me on a big rant because of it, because my big OTP and the last ship we're talking about today is Toru and Kyo from Fruits Basket. And you can know they're my favorite ship because this is the only slide that has like clear text on it. That wasn't the purpose. I don't know how that happened anyway. But anyway, I'm glad for it. My true OTP is Toru and Kyo. And sit back because I'm going on a huge rant. Not really a rant because that's more negative. I'm going on a huge gush trip about these two right now, so sit back. For starters, like I said, their relationship ties into their character arcs. But okay, now we're going on to a big tangent. Also, I just want to say, if I don't make like a video talking about all of these ships, I am at the very least going to make a video talking about this ship. They deserve their own video. I don't do analysis videos. I do gameplay videos, but I kind of want. But if I was to ever make at least one analysis videos, it would be about these two. Anyway, so yeah, prepare for my big, deep rant. It's probably gonna get my throat sore when I'm done with it. Okay, so like I said, their relationship ties into their character arcs. So we gotta go over their individual character arcs. I just realized something I should have said before is that there's going to be spoilers for this. I mean, this alone is, I think, an endgame spoiler for Fruits Basket, but then again, the list finale's been out for a while, so I feel like if you cared about Fruits Basket, you would have known about this. Anyway, I will leave, like, a content review when I post the pod for this about the spoilers. So, anyway. So, Toru and Kyo, their relationship ties into their character development, their big character arcs. So let's go into each individual arc first. So Kyo, my precious baby boy Kyo. I'm not going to go into too much detail exactly. So like I said, that probably should be like a whole video. But Kyo, due to being, he is the cat spirit, which isn't an official member of the Chinese zodiac, so he's treated like an outcast. And for other reasons, he's also treated like a monster. So he doesn't believe he deserves to be loved, basically. Then he meets Toru, the sweet, kind, precious girl who, and she accepts him from who she is. Like the scene, like I should have shown a picture. Like I'm gonna like be right back. I'm gonna get that picture for you. Should I get that picture for you? Okay, I will get the picture for you. But basically, it's one of the last episodes. I think the semi-last episode of season 1 of the remake. When Toru discovers Kyo's monster form, and one thing I like is that she doesn't say, no, you're not a monster, or like, no, you're not scary. She admits that it's scary seeing Kyo like that, but because she cares about him, she wants to still being him. She accepts him for who he is. She doesn't deny his not so great parts about him, but she accepts and loves him despite those parts. And it's because of it that so then Kyo, after this, Kyo realizes that he's in love with Toru. And he doesn't want to accept this. He doesn't want to, like, envision a future with her for multiple reasons. And I think, and well, yes, there's some external reasons as to why he didn't do this. One of them is being that he's going to be locked up after he's done with school. So yes, well, there's some external reasons why he doesn't want to get with Toru. He also has like internal conflict reasons why. I think one of the reasons is due to a lot of things, including his involvement in her mother's death. Well, big spoiler there. Those who know. But due to that, he doesn't believe he's deserved being loved by Toru, which is why he rejects her even after she confesses her feelings to him. Thankfully, our boy Yuki comes in, literally beats some sense into Kyo until. And I also like Yuki is more realistic. He's like, yes, so you can maybe be her hero. You can stop her. Spoilers here, but I think I've already gotten spoiler territory, so it's no. So we're not going back now. No, we're going back now. Yuki's like you. Not some type of superhero, Kyo. You can't stop a car from hitting somebody. You can't stop somebody from falling off a cliff. But what you can do is be there for Toru and make her happy. And maybe that's all you need to do. So after this, Kyo goes to Toru. We all love that scene. And he lets Toru love him. Basically, he realizes he's let Toru love him, and it's sweet and wholesome. And I love it so much. And I'm just excited to that's just Kyo's character arc. Now let's look over Toru's point of view. Toru has two big character arcs that this Folsom ties in. That both tie into this. The first one being that she is such a sweet, precious cinnamon roll that's always helpful to others. But the problem is she's too helpful. By that, she's too selfless. She's always doing things for other people, which is great. But it means she like never really does anything for herself. And she should. She should, because she's so sweet and precious and deserves it, but she doesn't. One of the reasons why she doesn't want to admit her feelings for Kyo is because she doesn't want to admit that she only started actively trying to break the curse when she found out he would be locked up, and she feels guilty about that because she cares about all the Zodiac members, so she feels guilty about only trying to actively find a way to break the curse after she found out about Kyo specifically, which is one of the reasons why she has a hard time admitting her feelings. And the second reason is due to her mother's death. One thing I like about the show is that it looks like her mom died a while ago, like in lots of stories where like the parent died in the character's childhood. No, by the start of the show, her mom has only been dead for about 6 months, I believe. Or at least it has to be at least 6 months. So, yeah, her mom's death is still fresh, and she's still healing much from the death of her mom. And when her mom died, she said she would, she promised herself that she would always keep her mom would always be number one in her heart, the most precious person to her. But then she meets Kyo, and then she begins realizing that no, and somebody else has perhaps become more precious to her than her mom. And it's heartbreaking, but over time she realizes she needs to accept that. She realizes she needs to let her mom go. It's still like beautifully visual storytelling. I don't want to get the clips, so I'll explain it to you. But go watch the CD because it's pretty. So this is so well it's you can tell I care. Like actually, I watch things not just from point of view of a watcher, but a point of view of a story right there. And I love visual storytelling. I love symbolism told visually. So one thing that shows Toru finally alluding to let her mom go in visually is she imagines her walking with her mom, or the younger self walking with her mom, and then her mom stops walking. She continues walking up to Kyo, and then they continue walking together. It's a very beautiful visual way of showing that she needs to learn to move on from her mom so that she can have a happy life with Kyo. So that's how when her their their relationship adds to their character arc. That's why them getting together isn't just a ship we like finally getting together. It's their character arcs being concluded by Kyo letting and accepting Toru's feelings for him. It's him realizing that he is worthy of being loved, or that he should let people love him. And by Toru accepting her feelings for Kyo, it's her, one, doing something admitting her being selfish, and also it's her learning to let her mom go. I think another way that shows how Toru finally admitting her feelings shows that she's learning to be selfish and do things for herself is after the curse breaks. Oh, because yeah, shocker, the curse does break. I don't think anybody really thinks that's a shocker. But after the curse breaks, Kyo decides to go to another dojo in the countryside so he can further his martial arts training, and he asks Toru to come with him. And she does. Now that old Toru is like, wouldn't you do that? Because of course she would know everybody's gonna miss her if she moves. And it's kind of selfish, which is why old Toru wouldn't go. But new Toru, who's learning to be more selfish for herself, is doing something for herself. Like, she's gonna miss Kyo, so she's gonna go with him. So see, the character arcs ties just so beautifully into their relationship. And I think it ties so beautifully into the themes of the show. And then like one big thing, it's like, one of the overall big themes of the show is, and why I love Fruits Basket so much is because I think this is a good message, that sometimes to help people out of a tricky situation, we need to let them know that we love them and that we care for them despite everything, despite their flaws. Because that's what Akito uses to get the Zodiacs to stay with her. She manipulates them in many ways to get them to stay with her. One of them is making them feel like nobody would love them outside of her. So they have to stay with her. But thankfully, thanks to Toru, they realize that they're worthy of being loved and that other people will love them, not just Akito. So see, it all ties so much in the relationship as ties so well to the character arcs, which also ties so well to the themes of the story, and that's why I love Kyo and Toru so much. I mean, I talked about the other ships so quickly, like just a fly-by, but I ranted. I just got on a few minute tangent about these two because they're that great. And I love them. And I swear, I'm gonna take this stuff I just told you someday and make a proper video essay about them. So yeah, I love them so much, and I'm so glad they got their happily ever after. Okay, so that's all the ships. I'm just gonna go through the ships and see if there's anything else I want to say about them, or recap my information. So yeah, Dan and Reno, they were my first big ship. I thought their bantering was adorable. Reno was my first waifu. Oh, and something I didn't add is, I'm not sure you know this, but Reno was not really that big of a character in the other seasons, and this is specifically why I never really watched any of the other seasons. The few episodes I knew for sure I did watch were the episodes about Reno coming back into the plot to be important again. She isn't and I never watched any of the other series. I watched some of New Vestroya, and again, most of them were the episodes where she was actually in. Um, I never even watched the other two series. Rudo was in. She's in the fourth one, but I think by the time that went out, I just grew out of my Bakugan phase. So yeah, recap the dead of Rudo, Mash and May. This is more really I want to say actually this is really a personal thing. I think all the female characters in Pokemon are great. It's just a personal thing because I never watched the show. I watched the movies, and all the movies I watched I really did like were the ones with May in. For example, Temple of the Sea is my favorite, but another favorite one of mine, which is like because this is like nostalgia reasons, is Jirachi Wishmaker in May is also big in that one. There's not really any action May moments in that one, but there's definitely action May moments in Temple of the Sea. So yeah, this is a personal thing. This isn't because I think any of the other girls are bad or anything. It's just personal. I personally just like May the best for personal reasons. And Jay and Ian, they're great. They have a great. They're just really cute. They're sweet. They have the whole lightning and water motif. And again, why it took a Lego show of all things to have one show where we have a couple that's just together throughout most of the show. Like, why do not any more shows have this? Okay, let's see. Like, sadly mean. I know they're probably not the most. They probably are. Look, I will admit that perhaps they are a bit problematic, but here's my view on it. It depends. They're problematic. The potential problematicness isn't based around real life things. It's all fantasy things, so it's not as controversial, to me at least. It's hard to judge real life morals. And again, that problematicness is what makes them so interesting. One thing, like I love about Child, like I've read about this in fan fictions, and I feel like there's a lot of reason why people love those. Imagine like little means. Yeah. So originally this was gonna be a recap, but I think I was a bit nervous earlier, so I'm actually gonna add on some things. I maybe didn't mention earlier. So another reason why Child and Lumine are so great is that a lot of people imagine, well, like what love is like. Lumine actually convincing Child to like leave the Fatui, and like who doesn't love that? It, like add on to enemies and lovers. The old being in love makes the person change sides. Who doesn't like a bad guy becomes good because of their love for one of the main characters trope. That is awesome. I should have added that to the slide. Anyway, so that's great. And I feel like it could be very possible. Wasn't there a mention in canon where excuse me, wasn't there something in canon where Child said that if the traveler asked to, he would stop. Asked him to, he would leave the Fatui and they would go traveling together. I think there's a voice line like that where maybe some tutor mentioned it in the Child's story quest. So it's canon that the traveler said with another traveler. It's canon that Child said that if the traveler said so, he would leave the Fatui to travel with them. So it's canon! Seriously, Child and Lumine, I see as them not being canon, but Mihoyo has definitely left some hints to them. Again, it's here, so if you don't believe me, this is a shot from the anthology manga. You can't really read it. I would have added another shot, but like for the life of me, I can't remember where I found the shots I do have in the anthology manga. So in the anthology, there's a chapter in the anthology manga of them going on a date, so they're not canon, but Mihoyo is okay with having there be official media hinting towards them. Anyway, Ichika and Tsukasa again. I love they are an extreme rare pair that I don't actually get why they're so rare, because I feel like when you think, yes, at first it seems like they come out of nowhere, but when you think about it, they actually could make a very interesting dynamic with that. It's like not one of those interesting dynamics where you would have to change canon to make it work. No, I feel like they can work well in canon. So why is this? Like, I get such a rare pair. Like, again, like, probably because, like, ships like everyone, because they're more popular. And I admit it myself that if I started coming up with ships, after I started playing the game only, that I would probably ship Tsukasa instead, but this is something I came up with before I even started playing the game, and now I can't let it go. But even after playing the game, It's just like after the play game and I realized that they really don't work in canon. No, I think they can work in canon. So why are the life of me is like barely any content for them? Like literally barely any fan art, barely any fan fiction, fan edits, nothing. Please, if anybody sees this, let me know if you can find more like for fan content for these two. I'm starving for content here. And lastly, Tori and Kyo. I'm not really gonna say anything. I just want to hold a tangent about them. Like I said, I probably someday make a video essay about them. I don't do video essays. I have a gaming channel, but they deserve it because they're awesome, and I love them so much. So yeah, those were my favorite ships. And like I said, they weren't all of them. I actually think maybe I'll talk about maybe an honorable mention, which I didn't mention, but I do love. I just said not to put it outside. Hiccup and Astrid from How to Train Your Dragon. Also a huge, big ship of mine. They were my before Kyo and Toru. They were my OTP. One, this comes from my love for the How to Train Your Dragon series. It's my favorite movie series, and like one of the only. I don't really watch kids animated films anymore. I'm not trying to say that animated films are just for kids. I just personally don't really watch them anymore, but I still will go back to watch How to Train Your Dragon every once in a while because I love the movie series. And I really love Astrid and Hiccup. I think one reason anyway I didn't put them on the list. But earlier when I was saying how so many romances are nice but aren't really needed for overall character development. Yeah, as much as I love Astrid and Hiccup, that is sadly what they are. In the movie series, at least. In the TV show, there's much more development between them and much more plots about them. But to me, if it's supplementary content, you don't need to watch it into the main content, then it doesn't really count. The TV show, I haven't watched, I plan to someday watch it, but even then, it's supplementary content that you don't need to watch to understand the movies. So to me, it doesn't really count. When it comes to the movies, at least, their relationship is great and I love them. But it doesn't really add to the overall story. Like, you could cut Astrid out, you could cut the romance out, and yes, some changes would happen. Here's the thing. Thankfully, Astrid is involved enough so that I can. Basically, I know earlier I was about to say you could cut Astrid out. Okay, so after we think about it, she has enough plots in each of the movies where I don't think you could just cut her out. But the romance, on the other hand, is not actually all that necessary. There's a lot of plots where if her and Hiccup's relationship was purely platonic, it would still be the same. It's not like them being romantic really adds much to the plot overall. And it sucks because it's not like they're bad. I love them. I do love them. I mean, one, because I love nerdy guys getting with tough, cool girls. I mean, so we go back to Jay and I think that's another reason why I like Jay and so much. She's like this quirky guy, and she's like this typical cool girl. And the that quirky guy got the cool girl. I love that for them. Okay, so 1 second. I'm coughing because my throat's hurting because I'm gushing out all these ships. So yeah, Hiccup and Astrid, I do love them. The problem is, in the main movies at least, the relationship, while adorable and I absolutely love it, doesn't really add to the overall plot. And that's because Hiccup and Toothless's relationship is supposed to be the main focus of the ship. So in that aspect, I'm glad that they didn't do that thing where I don't have a specific example, but I'm sure you can find some, where they tried to focus so much on the romance that it sidetracked what the actual main relationship is supposed to be. It's supposed to be like the main relationship was supposed to focus on. It's like supposed to be the main character or a sibling or a friend or something, but we focus so much on instead we focus so much on the romance. So at that point, I'm glad that Astrid and Hiccup's relationship doesn't overshadow Hiccup and Toothless's relationship, since that's supposed to be the relationship we focus on. But it does mean that it's not all necessary. But despite all this, I still love them. But when they got married in the third movie, like, I knew that was coming. My sister kind of spoiled it for me, but that's not too bad. I think we all knew that was happening. What I didn't know when I went in watching movies that they were going to have kids and that we're going to see them. One thing you know about me is that my like favorite type of fan fiction to write and read is post-canon stories with a couple of married and have kids, because that is absolutely adorable. So when the characters get married and have kids in the canon, I am I absolutely exploded. I was so happy when I saw their kids. So yeah, I've had so despite them being not all that necessary to the plot, I still absolutely loved Ashton and Hickam. And this is him here. What's another ship I didn't make a slide for, but I still love? I'm gonna have another honorable mention to Damien and Raven from the DC animated movie. So I think one reason why I get add is that I've never actually watched any of the DC animated movies in full, but I have seen like every scene between Damien and Raven in those movies. Damien and Raven, their relationship was first introduced in the Teen Titans vs Justice League film, and they meet and they start bonding when they all go to the fair together. One scene is adorable. Yeah, they bond and it's adorable. And one thing I like with them is that they both. I think the reason why I like this is that they both have very messed up upbringings, where they're like originally raised to do something bad and then had to switch. So I think that's why that's why they work so well. They both can understand what it's like having a very messed up upbringing. They also are both very socially awkward, which I love. In the first movie, they were shown together. It was never it was done in a way where it wasn't like obviously romantic. It was more platonic, and maybe it can be romantic. And I don't mind this, especially because they were so young when they first met. If I'm correct, Damien was only 12 in that movie, so I guess why they wouldn't have an obvious romance. And I was fine if it just stayed for like friends and maybe have romantic feelings. But then about a few years ago, it's getting late and I'm like sunset something. I'm just looking at YouTube and I see a thumbnail of them kissing and I'm like, wait, what? So I read about it and I find out they actually became canon before that getting time traveled out of existence. So yeah, they are sadly a case of just as the couple actually become canon, they get erased out of existence. But I think that's fine because we have plenty of. It's not like that was the moment that confirmed they had feelings for each other, and then it gets erased. The whole movie has a side plot, of their relationship, and like I said, I haven't watched any of these movies in full, but I have watched all 6 of them together, and I remember when I found out they became canon, I would spend weeks like re-watching scenes of them together, and it's adorable. Like seeing them actually get canon and be together. And so I think while it does suck that they got erased to the time travel shenanigans, yeah, at least we got to see them together. I don't know what's better, to have a couple become canon and then one of them dies or they get erased from existence, or to have them not get together. In this case, at least, I can say I don't mind. I think it's glad that they got to be canon at all, even if for a brief moment. And who knows? I don't think this could be the end of them. We could see them together again in future media. See, the tricky thing is, I'm not an expert on the DCU, so I have no idea if they have been together or anything else, but from what I've heard, they haven't been together in any other iteration. Usually Damien's too young to have like a big, serious relationship. Most of the time he'll have some puppy dog relationship. And Raven is usually paired up with Beast Boy or somebody else, so that's the thing. But I say, there's always possibility that they will be together again in some iteration. Like if I ever get the opportunity, I doubt this would ever actually happen. So one thing you guys may know about me that I actually am going to be starting studying animation, although I'm still not sure if I want to go into animation or screenwriting. Oh yeah, so to sort of reveal about my future plans in life. So yeah, think. I was gonna say, but if I ever, I'm not saying this is something that's actually gonna happen, but like if I ever got the opportunity to work on a DC where I could do anything I wanted basically, I would do one where I could have Damian Raymond Raven Focus story again because I love those two. Okay, we have been nearly an hour, so maybe I can end. But I want to like quickly check back through my brain and see if like any other ships. Not that I've mentioned any other Project Sakai ships or any other Genshin ships. Like I said, maybe next year I'll do like an entire stream like this, but dedicated to Genshin ships specifically. Then I give like give a quick brief down of my other Genshin ships. Just like a quick brief. First, Shaolin, no, Shaolin Lumin won my first ship. My first ship, and the ship that actually got me interested more in the lore itself of Genshin Impact was Jean and D Luke. I think it's fair to say this was a lot of people's first ships because they were like one of the first characters we ever interacted with in the Archer quest. And I want to say they're just adorable. I love them so much. Like we don't know to what extent what their relationship was like before D Luke left the Knights of Perseus. But the fact that in the Archon quest he reached out to her specifically as far as I'm aware. He reached out to her to help with her the fallen situation. So it means he trusts her. This is D Luke. We know how serious it is. I don't think he really trusts anybody easily, but he seems to trust Jean. And in her story quest, which I haven't played but I have heard about, he offers letting the Knights use the Dawn Winery as a video for a birthday party, and he even says something along the lines of that he would like usually not sponsor a Knights event, but because he feels like everybody owns a great amount of gratitude to Jean, he did it. So yeah, like just how much respect he has for Jean, how much respect she has for him. Like, they would be a cute couple. Other Genshin couples I have, I like Bennett and Fischl as well. I see them like being two outcasts. They're both outcasts in a way, like with Bennett's bad luck and Fischl being her role playing. They're like two outcasts like getting together and falling in love is adorable. I think there's also some good canon content for them as well. Other Genshin ships. I like Ayaka and Toma. I don't know. I mean, again, not too much details about their past relationship, but they definitely seem close. I just think they would be very cute. I also really like Ito and Sarah. I mean, him, not so smart but lovable himbo, and a no nonsense serious girl. That's like a perfect combo. And again, there's lots of content, canon content between them as well. Like one, it's hinted that they were that's a Tengu that Ito got into a fight with as a child, who carried him back to the village after they fell off the mountain is Sarah. Like, okay, one, that is not a cute trope. Some person we met this person as a kid. I always wanted to meet them again, and then we find out. So in more detail, Ito wants to have a rematch with a Tengu he got into a fight with as a kid, and he also wants to rematch Sarah after she took his vision away. I don't think he realizes these are the same people. So yeah, that's adorable. Isn't that type of story adorable? Like, this person, we know this person from our this person from our childhood we'd like to meet again. That's just this person we know now. And we don't really listen to the same person. That's great. Another thing, there are also hinted to be descendants of a Tengu and Oni lover pair that had to separate to the reasons I don't remember the exact lore reasons for, but again, that's adorable. The story of having two characters parallel the romance of somebody in the past, and then being like, no, things will be different. That is great. So yeah, lots of time for them. Any other Genshin ships I'm big on? Not really big on any ships. I will say that while my big ship is Shaolin, I don't mind Shaolin either. But I started researching like ships thinking I started leaning towards Shao Lumine. I know it was just something about the enemies, or it was just being the child in Lumine. But I think Shao in Lumine are great as well. Like, I also think while I ship Bennett and Fischl, I think Bennett and Barbara would be pretty nice as well. Like he goes to the church all the time because he gets hurt, so she heals, so she heals his wounds a lot. Also, I can't remember exactly, but I think he has a voice line mentioning about her singing and how good it is. So yeah, Bennett and Barbara are good too. One thing about Genshin Impact is that it's a great for multi-shipping. Because and I'm the type of person, like, just because I don't personally ship it doesn't mean I don't mind it or think it's cute as well. Like I said, I personally ship Child and Lumine, but I think Shao and Lumine are pretty good as well. Anyway, now we're nearing the hour, but I still want to see if there's like any other ships that I really want to mention. Since I was so into Kingdom Hearts, maybe I should have a quick mention to Sora and Kairi. I think the reason why I did put this on the slides that at the moment, I'm not really into Kingdom Hearts, which is weird because like I was so obsessed with it. I got my dad to get me Kairi's hoodie from Hot Topic because I live in South Africa and we don't have Hot Topics. So when my dad went on a business trip to Canada, I asked him to get Kairi's hoodie for Hot Topic for me. I have so much Kingdom Hearts merch. I have the Ultimania book that I haven't read since I've had it over here. I didn't get time for reading it. So yeah, I love Kingdom. I have so much Kingdom Hearts merch, but I think we're such in a dry patch that I haven't, I pretty much finished playing all the main games. I finished the Union Cross Ended, and I'm still trying to get through Dark Road, but by the time the rest of Dark Road came out, I already started growing out of it. We're just in a dry patch, so I'm not really all that interested in Kingdom Hearts content at the moment, but don't worry, I don't think it'll last forever. I feel like once we get more information on the main game, which may be happening because there's a Kingdom Hearts concert happening soon from what I've heard, so maybe we'll get more information on the main game. Once that happens, I'll probably get back into Kingdom Hearts, but until then, that's probably why I didn't bother mentioning Kairi and Sora, but when I was back into Kingdom Hearts, I did love them. Their relationship is linked to so many of the plots in all of the games. How many times has saving Kairi been, one of Sora's driving forces in his missions in the game? I think the biggest problem is that I don't like what they're doing. I don't like how, I love Kairi, she's like one of my favorite characters. She's one of my favorite Kingdom Hearts characters. I don't like how she's getting shafted so much. Even in Relevant Memory, which is pretty much her game, we don't get to do the final boss as her. I mean, it's technically her, but it's like we see Sora, so like, you couldn't even let this the game where she's pretty much the main character as her. The only reason why I am not angry that she didn't go with Riku to control him is that she's trading on the Aqua, and that would be awesome. But yeah, that's another reason why the ship has been tainted to me. And the only reason, but I hold out hope that they will do more with her, and that she won't just be drafted to get kidnapped. That she'll actually do, or like stay behind her, she'll actually do stuff. But yeah, that's Sora and Kairi. So I still love Sora and Kairi. Like I said, not most of the time, they're each other's motivations for being involved in, not like full motivations, but they definitely help. Should I mention Luna and Noctis Final Fantasy 15? I don't like Luna and Noctis, but I think the game, they were wasted potential in the game itself. I actually have the Dawn of the Future book, which is an alternate ending, and I'm glad they end up together there. But yeah, in the game itself, they're not bad. I do like them, but they feel like there's not enough about them to make us care about the relationship. We care about the relationship because we know we should, versus caring about the relationship because they actually showed us enough to care, you know? And it sucks because it was like an easy fix. So, spoilers, but you know when you get to, it's been a year since I played it's been a year since I played Final Fantasy 15, so I don't remember the name, but like the place where they're gonna have their wedding. When you get there, there's a task where, you have to convince like the mayor or something, I don't remember exactly, to let you do like the ritual thing. It's been a year since I played, so I don't remember the details. But yeah, there's this challenge where you have to convince the mayor to do a thing to do like a ritual thing, and how much she trusts you will depend on the answers you pick. I picked, and without watching a guide or anything, I just chose what obviously seemed like the best answers to choose. I picked all the answers, and I won her trust over fully. And from what I've known, she confirmed that Luna was there. She was housing Luna. Why, for the life of me, did they not make it that as a game, a reward for convincing, winning her trust fully, that she lets you see Luna? Because to me, if you were able to fully get her trust, she should allow you to see Luna. Why was there not a scene similar to the scene where Noctis and Iris, similar to the quest of Noctis and Iris hanging out together? Why was there not a quest where after that we get to hang out with Luna? I mean, story-wise, it works so many ways. It could have been a perfect calm before the storm moment. So many stories have a calm before the storm moment where just where things are going great. Everything goes downhill. I mean, earlier in the game, there's a scene where you go to see, like, they address the, if, one thing I was confused about is that they didn't really address, like, if Noctis and Luna were still engaged, because the whole reason to why their arranged marriage happened in the first place turned out to be a farce. So, throughout the whole game, they don't really acknowledge if, well, they're like, okay, so Noctis and Luna are still engaged, but why at this point when the whole political reason to is no longer there? But then we have the scene where you go find her wedding dress, and they're like, you marrying her, and that could be like I don't remember the exact details, but like it can help give people hope at a time. So I feel like they could have had a sweet like moment where you're walking around with Luna, catching up with her, and then you can have like a sweet talk about why, like having Noctis like give her a proposal. I was talking about the reasons I talked about earlier. So that would have been great to making us actually care more about them. So why the heck was that not added in? Okay, I get maybe when the game was released, time restrict. It's clear to see there was a lot of things they wanted to add in, but had to delay to the time restraints. Why couldn't they add it in later? There was tons of new like quests and scenes and DLC and stuff added in later. Why did they not later add in a quest where we get to walk around with Luna in the place? Also, again, from settings alone, that place looked great. It must have been so hard to model and code, especially for me who has knowledge on coding and 3D modeling and game development. I know how hard it must have been to make that place. Again, I can't remember the name. It's where they get married. Well, they were supposed to get married, and you get married in the books. So, it looks great. So that's another great thing. Like it forces the player to appreciate how beautiful this place looks. That much work they put in. So. I just don't see why they never added a quest like that. So yeah, me, Luna, and Noctis are a waste of potential type of ship. They're not bad, but I feel like here's the thing about Final Fantasy 15. I love the Choco Bros. They're like the best bromance I've ever seen. But I think because the game focused so much on showing the bromance, they nailed the bromance perfectly. But I sadly feel like other relationships suffered in the process. Like I feel like we should have seen more. Like the same with Noctis' dad's death. We feel sad more, but it's more because obviously Noctis would feel sad about his dad's death. Not like there was enough scenes much actually between them to make us feel sad about it. Like scenes about their relationship. And yes, there's stuff in like all the like in the anime shorts and stuff, but to me, if it's supplementary material, that you don't absolutely have to watch to know the overall story, then it doesn't count. Like those people who play the games aren't gonna watch all that stuff, so to me it doesn't count. There should have just been like a little more in the game to make us feel for his relationship with dad, and I think the same is with Luna. We feel for a relationship because we know obviously that he's gonna be sad about a relationship, versus there being really enough to actually make us care about it personally. And again, one quest with her, and I feel like not only would it make us care more about Luna, but then it would have had the death hit even more. Imagine like if we had a quest where we had this like great time out with Luna, and then it all goes crashing down right afterwards. So yeah, that's wasted opportunity. Some other ships, like is it not? I don't know. Mention like every single thing I have ever shipped. Just should I just go to Ruby ships? I've never watched Ruby in full. And honestly, with all the big drama recently, not sure if I ever will at this point now. But just because that doesn't mean anyone wanted to talk about my ships. Obviously, I love Rin and Nora. They're great. I was happy to find out they kissed in season 7, and I never watched the second half of season 8. I never got around to watching the second half. But I did, after a while, a little while ago, finally read out about what happened in it. And, well, I don't know exactly details, but again, it's basically Nora decided that she needs to focus more on learning who she wants to be as herself before she gets to be her red. Like, I am so conflicted by this. It's like a personal thing. It's like personal point of view versus your writer's point. Well, my emotional. I always look at things in two ways. Like from an emotional point of view versus a writer point of view. Because as I said, I'm working at screenwriting and stuff. So that's a writer's point of view, but also like a character point of view. I think this is great for Nora to find out more about herself before being with Ren, and this can make for a great plot. But for the ships, are kind of disappointed that they're not actually together yet. I think it's, like I said, sadly, with everything that's going on with Rooster Teeth, the future of the show itself seems to be up in the air, which also means the future of their relationship is up in the air. That's the problem. If I was sure that eventually their relationship would get resolved and that they would be together, I would be more fine with this. But I'm not sure the show itself is ever going to get this far anymore. I have no idea what's going on with Rooster Teeth after all the drama, and I have no idea if Ruby is ever going to even get a proper continuation. Like, Ruby itself has been going downhill, but I think everything that's going on is going to make it worse. So I'm not sure they're going to get a proper conclusion. Another Ruby ship. Anyway, besides for Nora, another, well, that's like my canon Ruby ship. Another, not really canon. I am, like I said, I never watched the second half of season 8. I have no mere, there's like any hints to these two in the second half of season 8. Please let me know if there are, but Rose Garden, Ruby and Oscar, I love as much as well. See, that's tricky with the whole Oscar having the spirit of her ex-principal thing would make that interesting, but I always say that's why they should have, like, only get together after that gets resolved. I don't think for it, no, I love Oscar. He's my favorite character. He's an absolute baby, and I love him. And I feel so bad that the Oscar protection squad failed to protect him in the last season. And I'm so angry at the fact for what they did to him in the last season. I mean, Oscar and Ruby, I love a lot as well. They're both the youngest of the group. They feel like they struggle to trying to prove themselves. Like, they could just work. Like, I know there's already a kid and stuff for them, but I think they could just work and be cute together. But like I said, that would probably be... I would probably only feel comfortable with them actually starting a romance here's the thing. I would only feel comfortable with them starting a romance after Osmond no longer is in Oscar's head, because otherwise that would be kind of creepy, because Osmond was Ruby's principal, so like them getting in a relationship. Before then, it wouldn't be their fault, but it would seem weird, right? But the problem is, I'm not sure. Well, I do believe that Oscar is going to completely fall and become Osmond. I feel like I have a good feeling that Oscar will probably be Osmond's last reincarnation, and his soul will leave Oscar, and then Oscar will get his body back. But the problem is, I feel like there's a high possibility of that only happening, like, literally at the very end. So there's highly possible we get the Rose Garden. Even if it does, like, the closest, maybe we'll get some hints. Like, maybe a scene afterwards hinting to it that Oscar's gone. But if, like, it goes that route, there's a good chance we'll never get any actual Rose Garden cartoon, and I'm sad. Oh well, that's where fan fiction comes in, I guess. Alright, any other ships? I feel like I would mention Ray and Hina from Oscar and the Lion. The thing is, I haven't really actually read the manga that focuses so much on their relationship. Well, they say though, one of the big plots after was the anime ended, but the manga continued with their relationships. But I've heard there's a lot of new content that I'm watching in like a Lion manga, which is something I need to catch up on. Because I already watched the anime and don't know what really happens in stuff that wasn't covered in anime. I have no idea how Ray and Hina's relationship went. So it's why they do ship it, because they gotta talk about them until I have some more details about what's actually going on with him. Like I said, I have shipped tons of things over the years with. I have been shipping But like seriously, before I have been shipping before I even knew what shipping was a thing. For example, Data Bruno, they were my first big ship, but I watched Bakugan when I was like like 8 to 9 years old for the first time. So, and like I shipped it before then. But, like this was like the first big thing I would ever really shipping was Data Bruno. So it's like from 9, I have been shipping it. And I think I don't even remember when I first heard the word shipping or what it meant. But yeah, anything else? Just, if you know what I'm doing, I'm going for my fan fiction list. Cause like if I love to ship, I've probably written some type of fan fiction. Well, I know there's plenty of fan fiction. I haven't actually written fan fiction for ships I do love. Let's just try will someday. So like I'm trying to think, I have tons of ships I've seen here, but like anything big enough to like add a mention. And like we've been over an hour, so like I have to like do this to try and make this stream longer. I won't say Miraculous Ladybird because I did ship it a lot back then, but I only ever watched season 1 and nothing afterwards. And honestly, I don't watch Miraculous Ladybird. I have been keeping up with what's going on, and honestly, I'm glad I stopped watching for season 1. Like I'm actually annoyed that they have taken this. I didn't think it was the whole show for them to reveal the secret identities to each other, but it is. Because every time they do find out, they lose their memory or time travel or something. It's annoying. I don't know why that and the whole love square thing because they don't know each other's identities. That can be interesting, depending on how you do it. But the thing is, I don't like it because it doesn't make sense to me why they would keep their identities secrets from each other. They have been fighting together for a while. Why would actually, it doesn't make sense why, for practicality's sake, they wouldn't just reveal their identities to each other from the start. Like, that's what usually happens in other superhero shows and movies and anything like that. The characters know the real identities of the people they're working with. Why would they not? I don't remember if there was any reason why they didn't mention not revealing their identity to each other from the beginning. And I get it's the point of the show and it makes things interesting. But it's also kind of annoying because for me, I've been fighting for so long that it doesn't make sense for them to keep their identity secret from each other at this point. So yeah, I just find that annoying. And I'm glad I was actually pick one more ship maybe I'm gonna mention. I did add an end because it's a very obscure piece of media. And it's from Violetta, which is a Disney Argentinian show, which I watched and was really obsessed over in my late teen to mid-teen years. Not late teen, early teen to mid-teen years. But I think one reason why I didn't want to talk about it is I don't really watch the show itself anymore. And it's not like a show like I simply grew out of it. Because like a lot of these things, I don't actually recap. I don't actually watch some of these earlier ships. Like I don't really watch Bakugan anymore. I don't really watch Pokemon anymore. Those two of these I am. Well, those ships, so they are like in the ships. I don't really actually interact with the media itself anymore. But they were such huge, big ships, I decided to mention it. In one of my shipping lists, I decided to mention them. But I did watch Ninjago. I started watching it in 2018. Yeah, 2018. Stopped watching it for a while. I got back into it sometime in the end of last year. I'm playing Gushing Empire at the moment. Project Sakai is pretty much taking over my life. And I haven't fully watched Fruits Basket, but I will someday, and I love it because I love it so much. So, yeah, Violetta, I don't really, but the thing is, all these shows, I simply just interact with them because I grew out of them, not because there's something bad with them. Violetta, I don't really watch it because I think I originally stopped watching it simply because I grew out of it. Thinking back, there were so many writing issues. But anyway, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the ship itself, which was Thomas and Violetta, which was the first big main ship. I won't talk about too much detail on the ship itself. That's the thing. And anyway, I won't talk about it. Because when I talk about it, it's not really the ship itself you really want to talk about. It's more like how it ended. So I don't know the exact details of what happened. Probably because a lot of articles about it probably wouldn't be in English. So I wouldn't know where to find. And Violetta also isn't that big of a show internationally. So I wouldn't know where to find like translations from it. But Thomas was originally going to be like the main big love interest. But then I think his actor decided to leave and then Thomas left. So yeah. which is sex because I thought Thomas was the better love interest. I'm sorry to people who ship Leon and Violetta if anybody who actually wants to be Violetta watches this. But I don't like Leon and Violetta, and it's not just because I ship Thomas and Violetta. I mentioned earlier that even if I don't personally ship it, I can acknowledge when another ship is cute or I think works, even if it's on my personal thing. I don't like Leon and Violetta because I just, basically, for a multitude of reasons, I just think they're toxic. Which is other reasons. So me being upset about Thomas leaving, I would have been more forgiving about Thomas leaving if Leon Violetta's relationship was good. But no, I supposed to make it was toxic, which makes me even more upset. But yeah, sorry to. I feel bad for leaving this but on a sour note. But I think that's where I'm gonna end. I'm not sure if anybody actually came to this, but to anybody who is here, thank you so much for just hearing my ramblings about my ships. I'm sorry for being a bit nervous earlier. I really don't do just talking streams, and I'm not really good about just talking about things, but I think as I went into it, I got less shy and more comfortable, and I got better, so hopefully that helped. And like I said, maybe I'll, make them in detail. Maybe I'll, I don't do video essays, but I have been thinking about maybe dabbling in them, because, I must admit something my gameplay content isn't, doing poorly, but it's not like I'm having big growth or anything. So I have been thinking about dabbling in other types of the YouTube content. I was thinking maybe video essays. I like video essays. Here's the thing with video essays. I do them in my. I'm not sure about anybody else does this, but I love doing video essays in my head all the time. Like I will talk about certain ships and stuff in my head as if I'm watching. It's like if I made a video essay about them. Because I do have tons of. I have essay level opinions about certain topic, but when it comes, I'm not sure I have what it takes to actually take it away to actually make a video essay. You have to write it, and then record it, and then get the footage. And we all know how copyright is on YouTube, which means you get all that footage, and then it gets blocked, so you have to change the footage. Yeah, so maybe if you want maybe someday, if I ever try to dabble in essays, I will make an actual video essay talking about these ships instead of just me rambling about them. Like I said, I want to very least make one about Toru and Kyo because they are such, like I said, they're great because their relationship actually adds into their character arcs. And that is great, so I would love to at least talk about that someday. Anyway, thank you to everybody so much. Okay. One more thing is that I was supposed to stream and I was supposed to try and finish the Inazuma Alcorn quest on Monday, but I decided to leave it so that I could focus on doing this Valentine's Day stream. So I'm gonna try and do that tomorrow instead. So if I go back to my usual gameplay content, that will be back there tomorrow. But do let me know if you like this type of content and would like to see me more of. Listen, if you would like me to do a proper scripted video talking about these ships, instead of just me rambling about it, then do let me know. And I would definitely be more than glad to do that. And also, I would think maybe next year I'll do this for with Genshin Impact streams. I think briefly Genshin Impact ships specifically, because there's enough ships to do a video, a stream just on them. I was just thinking about saving that for next year's Valentine's Day. But if you don't want to wait till then and would like to hear me talk about my favorite Genshin Impact ships specifically, please let me know. Well, let me know if any other Valentine's Day I can use them. Anyway, thank you so much to everybody who came, and I bid thee adieu.